In 2014, Hong Kong was shaken by an appalling crime. A 15-year-old mixed-race girl accepted a private photo shoot offer from a man, hoping to earn some extra pocket money. Little did she know this session would become her eternal nightmare. Not only was the girl subjected to unspeakable torture before her death, but her body was violated multiple times even after death. On the morning of December 9, 2014, Sister Chen, a cleaner at the refuse station at 195 Portland Street in Mong Kok, began her busy workday as usual. Suddenly, a short-statured man approached Sister Chen. He claimed to be staying at a nearby hotel and asked to borrow her trolley to move some heavy items. The man appeared to be in his 30s and spoke politely. Finding him honest-looking and harmless, Sister Chen lent him a trolley. True to his word, the man returned with the trolley about 15 minutes later. On it lay an oversized red, white, blue plastic bag containing what appeared to be heavy objects. As the man struggled to load the bag into the garbage truck, Sister Chen kindly assisted. Yet something felt amiss. While the bag was indeed heavy, its contents felt oddly soft to the touch. When Sister Chen inquired about the bag's contents, the man gave only vague replies, calling it some miscellaneous items. After disposing of the bag, the man seemed relieved. He returned the trolley to Sister Chen, thanked her, and quickly left the scene. After the man left, Sister Chen couldn't shake her growing unease. Her curiosity getting the better of her, she unzipped the plastic bag, only to discover 4 more layers inside. Now even more suspicious, she cut through the layers. What she saw next made her blood run cold. Nestled within the bags was the naked body of a teenage girl. Trembling with shock, Sister Chen immediately alerted her supervisor, who called the police. Officers and paramedics arrived swiftly, confirming the girl in the bag showed no signs of life. Police quickly cordoned off the Portland Street refuse station in Mong Kok, launching a full forensic sweep of the area. The autopsy findings: the medical examiner determined the victim was approximately 15 to 16 years old, a petite, slender girl. Her hands had been bound in front of her head with multiple layers of adhesive tape, then tightly wrapped in 2 black trash bags, forcing her into a fetal position. Her ankles were secured with plastic cable ties and swathed in 5 additional black bags. 3 layers of tape were wound tightly around her neck, leaving deep ligature marks. The girl's lower body was completely exposed. Her anus showed signs of bleeding and tearing, likely caused by a hard object. Forensic tests revealed traces of semen and medicated wine in both her vagina and anus. Toxicology reports indicated dangerously high levels of alcohol in her system. Livor mortis had already set in along her thighs, suggesting she'd been dead for roughly a day. The probable causes: suffocation from tape covering her mouth and nose, strangulation via the neck restraints, manual choking, or some horrific combination of all 3. Additional injuries told a brutal story. Bruises, cuts, and deep lacerations covered her head, neck, and limbs. Defensive wounds from struggling or perhaps blows from a blunt object. The coroner's reconstruction was grim. The girl had likely endured repeated strikes to the head before the killer sealed her mouth with tape. Though tiny gaps allowed faint breaths, the cable ties around her neck did their deadly work. One thing was certain: the man who'd calmly wheeled this horror into the trash station was their prime suspect. Eyewitness Sister Chen's description proved crucial. A short-statured man carrying a distinctive red, white, blue plastic bag, who claimed to reside at a nearby hotel. Acting on these leads, police immediately canvassed 6 surrounding hotels, while collecting all available surveillance footage along possible routes. The critical break came when footage revealed the suspect loading the suspicious bag onto a trolley outside Harbour Plaza Hotel on Canton Road. Hotel registration records led investigators to the man's tenement apartment on Com Fong Street. Neighbours informed police the occupant was currently out, prompting officers to establish surveillance. At precisely 2 p.m. on December 9, authorities arrested the suspect as he returned home. A subsequent search of his residence uncovered several damning pieces of evidence. A mobile phone carefully sealed in clear plastic, a glass ketchup bottle smeared with blood and strands of hair, a tube of personal lubricant, and a pink digital camera. Forensic analysis yielded conclusive results. Biological samples recovered from the victim's body provided a perfect DNA match to the detained suspect. There remained no doubt they had captured the killer. Police identified the perpetrator as 37-year-old Lau Chung-fei, a Hong Kong native and former security guard at HSBC Bank. Having been laid off 2 months prior, Lau had been unemployed, living with his wife and mother-in-law in their Kom Fong Street tenement. Meanwhile, forensic technicians successfully identified the victim, 15-year-old Kwok Wai Ming, 16, a Thai Chinese teenager of mixed heritage. This revelation raised disturbing questions. What connection existed between killer and victim? What motive could possibly drive a man to brutalize an innocent schoolgirl? Under intense police interrogation, Lau Chung-fei offered a full confession, one that traced the horrific chain of events back to what had begun as an ordinary private photoshoot arrangement. Lau Chung-fei had previous experience engaging in sexual transactions with private photography models. This tragedy stemmed from one such arrangement. The victim, Kwok Wai Ming, had attended St. Paul VI College. Though from modest means, she possessed remarkable linguistic abilities, fluently speaking Cantonese, English, Thai, Japanese, and Korean. While she should have progressed to secondary school, family conflicts led her to drop out and move in with her boyfriend Locke, working as a waitress at a maid cafe in Mong Kok. An avid cosplay enthusiast, Kwok gained attention at a comic convention, where her elaborate costumes attracted numerous private photography offers. She gladly accepted these opportunities to monetize her hobby, eventually quitting her job to focus solely on photoshoots. She even maintained a Facebook page sharing cosplay content, gradually building her reputation in the community. During his unemployment, Lau discovered Kwok through WeChat and arranged a private session. Kwok accepted the invitation to visit Lau's residence, a decision that would prove fatal. On December 8, Kwok's boyfriend Locke posted a missing person notice on Facebook, coinciding with her scheduled shoot with Lau. That day, Lau withdrew 6,000 Hong Kong dollars, approximately 5,000 yen, and scouted Mong Kok for outfits. Dissatisfied with both conservative and overly revealing sleepwear at Langham Place's 9th floor boutique, he ultimately purchased nothing. When Kwok arrived, Lau claimed to have forgotten his camera, luring her to his home despite initial reluctance. Once inside, when Kwok refused to change outfits, Lau launched into complaints about his unemployment and workplace ostracization. Though confused by his sudden outburst, Kwok offered sympathy, mentioning her own financial struggles with photoshoot work. This seemingly triggered Lau, who redirected his frustrations violently toward her. Grabbing a ketchup bottle, Lau repeatedly struck Kwok's head. As she resisted, he bound her with tape, stripped her, and forcibly administered deer antler wine rectally. Despite Kwok's pleas for mercy and promises of silence, Lau's rage escalated to sexual assault. Concerned about missing dinner plans with his wife, Lau strangled Kwok, concealed her body in a fluorescent green suitcase, and wrapped her phone in red tape before storing it in the refrigerator. In a horrifying twist, Lau checked into Harbour Plaza Hotel on Canton Road with the suitcase, where he violated the corpse before disposing of Kwok's clothing. After failing to find affordable rental space to hide the body, Lau returned to the hotel for further violation before showering and calmly arranging dinner with his wife. That evening, Lau dined with his wife as if nothing had occurred. When she noticed his injuries, he blamed a stairwell fall, but she sensed his underlying tension. Though his wife had been supporting the entire household financially, she understood Lau's anxiety over unemployment and tried to comfort him. She assured him their family didn't care about his job status and only wanted him to release his pent-up stress. "Just be a good person," she said, "and don't make us worry." Though these words stirred guilt in Lau's heart, the mistake could not be undone. The next morning, Lau returned to Harbour Plaza Hotel. After wrapping the victim's body in plastic bags, he used a borrowed trolley to dispose of it at the garbage station. Having done all this, Lau thought everything was over. What he didn't anticipate was that the body would eventually be discovered by a curious cleaner, exposing this horrifying murder case. Facing a defenseless young stranger, Lau's cruelty was shocking. What drove him to such brutality? Was it simply the pressure of unemployment seeking an outlet? In truth, Lau's actions weren't without warning signs. Investigations revealed his upbringing was filled with violence and emotional neglect. These experiences likely planted the seeds for his extreme behavior. Lau Chung-fei grew up in an environment rife with domestic violence. His mother endured frequent beatings from his father before their early divorce. He had an elder brother who, like their mother, struggled with mental illness. This brother once attempted suicide by jumping from a building, though he survived. The severe injuries left him paralyzed until his eventual death years later. Such family circumstances exposed Lau to domestic violence from childhood, while suffering neglect from his relatives. These experiences twisted his psyche, embedding deep-seated inferiority complexes. During school years, Lau faced relentless bullying for his short stature and poor academic performance. Teachers' mocking remarks further eroded his self-esteem. Workplace discrimination followed him into adulthood. Starting in 2000, Lau frequented Macau casinos, accumulating gambling losses approaching 1 million Hong Kong dollars, financial ruin that destabilized his mental health. A 2003 online romance prompted temporary reform. Lau took multiple jobs while saving for property, eventually securing a 2007 position as HSBC Vault Security. Yet workplace harassment continued, denying him promotions or bonuses. The November 2014 HSBC layoff plunged Lau into crisis. Relocating to his in-laws' home brought new tensions with a domineering mother-in-law. Jobless and suffocating under domestic pressures, Lau remained trapped in despair until committing his crime. Though his methodology showed little sophistication, police cracked the case within 48 hours. The December 27 preliminary hearing revealed complications during detention. Lau claimed psychotic episodes with hallucinated voices demanding blood sacrifice, insisting on manslaughter rather than murder charges. Investigators dismantled these defenses. Evidence demonstrated calculated predation from luring Kwok Wai Ming to the hotel assaults and body disposal, all indicating lucid, premeditated actions without psychotic interference. Facing irrefutable evidence, Lau's excuses collapsed. The March 2018 verdict came swiftly: life imprisonment for murder. This case surrounding private photoshoots has compelled society to reflect deeply on its inherent risks. As a cultural phenomenon, private photoshooting undoubtedly provides enthusiasts and photographers with a platform for self-expression. However, the lack of formal regulatory mechanisms creates opportunities for those with malicious intent. Predators may exploit the guise of photoshoots to commit violations against participants. Individuals engaging in private photoshoots must maintain heightened vigilance to ensure personal safety and avoid harm. Simultaneously, society as a whole should strengthen public awareness campaigns, establish more comprehensive legal frameworks, and enhance oversight, all to collectively safeguard a secure and healthy industry environment. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this case, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow Case Diaries. There are plenty more cases coming your way. Got thoughts on today's story? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. See you in the next one.